EMZT Radio is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and a free 30-day trial at audibletrial.com/EMZT. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Who's in the box? What's in the box?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
You're staying. This isn't a democracy anymore.
This is now the United States of
EMZT Radio.
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Welcome to another episode of EMZT Radio. I am Bane Hellborn with my partner, the infamous MJ.
Hello, everybody. The friendly neighborhood space pope has arrived once again. After taking a month off, I took a month off.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Well, you didn't. I did. You took about 2 weeks off. I took a month off because, well, I have other projects going on, too.
Yep.
So, I have other projects. The first episode of Plutonian Confessions will be out in about a week.
Nice.
Probably be out by the time this podcast is out. So, definitely check that one out. We're still working on Liberty Punks. We still haven't. We're trying to get it done by May because we want a pretty good following by the time the election comes around. So,
yeah.
All of you leftists will probably hate us. All of you right-wingers will definitely hate us. Especially if you support Trump, you probably will hate us. But
ouch.
I'm just going to say, Anyways, enough politics on this show. I think we're ready to start this episode now. But, yeah, that's all the politics you're going to get here.
Okay.
Oh my! So I guess we got hit really with a double whammy over these last couple of weeks, man. I mean, what the hell? It's like the networks are just sending us middle fingers right and left. First, we had Ash versus Evil Dead is done after season 3.
It's the numbers weren't there. Just
But you know what's funny? There's a thing out on Facebook. Now, I know it's not fair because it's 8 versus 3. Mm-hmm. But they had a comparison of The Walking Dead versus Ash versus Evil Dead.
No.
And, like I said, I know it's 8 versus 3. But did you see how Ash versus the Evil Dead was basically consistent?
Yeah.
And then it's like The Walking Dead. It's like, okay, down, down, down. Oh, season 4, back up because we're done with Farmer Rick. Down, 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 down. It's amazing to me that, the numbers aren't there for Ash versus Evil Dead. But, we still get bombarded with The Walking Dead for another 2 more seasons at least.
Yeah. No, Walking Dead is done. It's
Walking
done.
Dead has been dead to me for like 2 seasons now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bruce. You had to hook up with a cable network. People are cord cutting, I'm sorry. That's how it is.
Between that and the way American Gods kind of started going downhill halfway through the season, I'm getting rid of Stars.
Yeah.
I paid the $9 a month for Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Separately. I'm not going to be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I even moved back over to Sling and had the option to pay $5 a month for Stars and said no.
Yeah.
Instead, I paid $10 a month for Showtime. So that should tell you something then and there. But the other just middle finger, and I know some people love it, some people hate it. Kevin Bacon announced that Tremors is not coming to Sci-Fi after all. The pilot now the headline on Dread Central, where I do a lot of the show prep. Mm-hmm. The headline on Dread Central is actually a lie. It says Tremors TV series canceled. There's one problem with that.
It never got on the air.
It never got on the air. So the headline is very misleading. It's more clickbait on the clickbait side. The headline should read Bacon's Tremors TV not picked up, but the pilot has been shot.
Yeah.
So that could be good news, especially if you're a fan of Netflix, you're a fan of Screambox, you're a fan of
Shudder.
Now, I don't know if Shudder or Screambox can afford to pick up Tremors. But I hope they can. I mean, they're going out, they're picking out, Norwegian television series. I mean, they got to, right?
Yeah, they should.
So yeah, I think they will. Somebody should pick this up because I want to see it. Now again, Tremors not exactly one of my go-to horror movies of all time, but I'm all for it. If you want a quick synopsis of what the television show was supposed to be, I had heard that it was supposed to pick up like 20 years after the last Tremors, or something of that nature.
Right.
So, but like I said, the pilot was filmed, and that could mean good news.
Possibly.
Yes.
We're hoping.
But we did get some good television news this week. Paramount has shown us the new artwork for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh?
So Paramount is full on board, is coming back to Nickelodeon next year.
Woo!
So Are You Afraid of the Dark is coming back to television. At least we got that.
We hope.
We hope. And the teaser trailer has come up for Stranger Things 3.
Yes.
So it is now in production, and it's the announcement production trailer. So we got that going for us. I don't know. What else is there, really? So we've got... Oh, yes! Well, anyways, you got some things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro gets funding for scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yes!
Yes!
That's going to happen, kids. Matter of fact, I had a story about that, but I can't find the story anymore.
Yeah. He secured funding through Entertainment One and CBS Films. Shooting is set to begin this summer with Lionsgate handling the U.S. distribution. Hello.
Yep. GDT, just to let everybody know, GDT is not just producing the movie. He's co-writing the movie. Mm-hmm. Del Toro co-wrote the movie with Daniel Hagman and Kevin Hagman, the Hagman brothers. You mostly know make English. For you horror fans, you remember the television, or you remember Hotel Transylvania, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And the Lego movie. They did the Lego movie. So I'm actually really excited for this. Because the Lego movie is one of my go-to non-horrors. Because I like the Lego movie. I am obsessed with all the Lego movies.
So is Boom Doom.
I would love to see Lego horror movies.
Yes. Yes, they should. Oh, okay. Guess what Loot Crate has finally done? And I don't know if it was because of my suggestions or they got lots of other suggestions, but they have now a Loot Fright Crate.
Or because Rue Morgue is about to come out with their own crate.
Possibly. So
I want to get the Rue Morgue crate because I've been told that there will be magazines.
Right.
That's how you're going to get your magazine subscription. And but on the magazine front, did you hear the great news? We thought they were dead, and now they're not.
You know, in horror, nothing truly dies.
Yes. David Hewlett this week announced he cannot wait for the Fangoria relaunch.
Yes! That was my magazine when I was in the 80s, man.
I'm so happy.
Ooh, I wonder what stores will be carrying it here. Because we don't have a comic book shop anymore.
No, I mean, if you got a Barnes & Noble nearby, I'm sure they'll have it.
No, we don't have.
That's really the only reason why I go into a Barnes & Noble anymore is to get magazines.
Yeah. We used to have a place called Hastings, but they're gone.
Phil Noble Jr., Michael Gingold, and Tony Tempo are on board as columnists and brand consultants.
Yeah.
Announced contributors. How about this? You ready for this?
Okay.
Sam Zimmerman is going to be a contributor. Do you know what he's most known for?
No.
He is one of the bigger Shudder curators.
Shudder. Okay.
Yes. Meredith Borders is on this as well. Rebecca McKendry's on this. Grady Hendrix is back on board, and S. Craig Zoller are back on board. Oh, yes. It's happening, kids. It's fucking happening. I just don't have a launch date yet. I think they have announced a launch date. I just can't find it. So.
Yeah.
But this is a huge deal. Fangoria's back.
It is. Fangoria. It's been gone for a while because, it went digital and then it kind of crapped out.
Yeah, the last physical copy of Fangoria was 2015.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years since we've had it. Now it's coming back. I mean, this is great news for everyone. People, get excited.
Yeah.
Come on, get happy.
And Fright Rags has picked up making Fangoria t-shirts for the occasion.
Hell yes, we're gonna get one.
So go to Fright Rags, get your t-shirt. It says Fangoria on it. Oh!
Eventually, as soon as we get to the video portion of our podcast, we'll be wearing those shirts.
Mm-hmm. Featuring something for men and women, including a stellar pin. This line. Oh, damn it! Ah! My page moved on me.
I know. I love it when the pages move.
Yes, I see the shirt. It's a beautiful shirt. I fucking want it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This line looks like both the most demented and stylish stuff a horror fan can own. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's now available. Go pick it up at Fright Rags. Yay. Yeah, they even have the enamel pins. Oh my god, how cute. Oh my god, look at that shirt. It's got red sleeves.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we're getting one.
Yeah, we're definitely getting one. But right now, we're going to get some other things. We're getting to music here on him.
Bumwine Bob from Bowling with Bobcat. You can listen to me live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern at sfdradio.com, where I'm bringing you the best of the worst in cheap booze, talking bum wine, beers, 40s, malt liquor, and more. Always featuring the latest and greatest in the world of drinking and entertainment, along with some special guests. So come on down and take a ride with Bumwine Bob. If you can't be there live, you can always listen in the archives at bumwinebob.com. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy. Cheers.
Have you heard a rumor? Oh, I'm a mess.
From the-line-up.com, 10 real-life horror movie locations you can actually visit. Why not arrange a trip to visit the real-life locations where your favorite horror movie was shot? While many scary flicks are filmed on sets, some use real places for their backdrops, locales that often possess their own spooky history every bit as ominous as what ended up on the silver screen. Pack up the car for one creepy road trip. From the cursed house of Michael Myers to the deadly stairs in The Exorcist, here are 10 real-life horror movie locations you can actually visit, if you dare. Number 1, the stairs from The Exorcist. While you might not be able to go into the house that served as Regan's home in The Exorcist, which is now a private residence, you can still join countless film tourists every year in exploring the famous stairs down which Father Karras took his climactic tumble. The narrow stone steps are on the corner of Prospect and 36th, leading down to M Street in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Number 2, Eddington Park Hotel from The Haunting of Hill House, 1963. Possibly the most famous haunted house in all of literature or film, the title abode from Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House has been represented on celluloid by 2 different but equally striking English manners. In the original 1963 version of The Haunting, the Eddington Park Hotel in Warwickshire, England, portrayed the exterior of Hill House. The hotel has a history of paranormal phenomena, and many cast members reported feeling uncomfortable during the shoot. In the 1999 remake, it's the exterior of Harlexton College that stands in for the outside of Hill House. Number 3, Timberline Lodge from The Shining. While it was the Stanley Hotel in Colorado that inspired Stephen King's novel The Shining, most of the exteriors for Stanley Kubrick's freaky film adaptation were shot at the Timberline Lodge in Oregon. The Mountain Hotel is still in operation and offers special Shining-themed experiences. While there's no actual room number 237 at the Timberline, room 217, which is the hotel number used in King's novel, remains the most sought-after unit in the hotel. Number 4, Villa Scott from Deep Red. Fans of Italian giallo cinema will recognize the Villa Scott in Turin, Italy, as the abandoned home at the heart of the mystery in Dario Argento's bloody classic Deep Red. At the time that Argento was filming, the villa was a girls' school run by nuns, which itself seems like a prime setting for a giallo film. These days, however, it truly is abandoned, so who knows what secrets you might find walled up inside. Number 5, Dunsmuir House from Phantasm. Not content to let its facade to fuel just one of our cinematic nightmares, the Dunsmuir House and Gardens, located in Oakland, California, has stood in for the Morningside Mortuary in Phantasm, the sinister house in the 1976 Dan Curtis film Burnt Offerings, as well as making appearances in So I Married an Axe Murderer and the Roger Moore James Bond film A View to a Kill. The Dunsmuir House is available to rent for special events and weddings, as long as you don't mind the tall man possibly stopping by. Number 6, Myers Family House from Halloween. While it boasts a more cheerful paint job, the original home of Michael Myers still sits in Pasadena, California, where much of John Carpenter's 1978 classic Halloween was filmed. You're unlikely to find any mass killers or misplaced tombstones in the house these days, as it has been converted into offices for local businesses. For a freaky Halloween-themed experience, head to the Myers house of Hillsborough, North Carolina, where one rabid fan constructed a full-size replica of the cursed abode. Number 7, Doheny Mansion from Drag Me to Hell. Whatever you may think of Sam Raimi's 2009 return to horror Drag Me to Hell, there's no denying it had a great location in the form of medium Sean Sandina's Hollywood Mansion. The estate is actually the Doheny Mansion in Beverly Hills, which offers tours and event reservations. Number 8, Point Reyes Lighthouse from The Fog. Much of John Carpenter's classic 1980 ghost story The Fog was actually shot in Point Reyes Station, California, including the iconic Point Reyes Lighthouse, which sits at the bottom of 308 precipitous steps. Number 9, the Union Center for the Arts from Prince of Darkness. While you can visit any one of these iconic horror movie locations listed, fans of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness recently got to double down on their horror movie love by watching the movie in the place where it was filmed. Originally the Japanese Union Church in LA, the church that portrayed St. Goddard's in Prince of Darkness is now the LA Art Corps Union Center for the Arts, which recently hosted a screening of the film back on October 28th. Here's to hoping they make it an annual tradition. And number 10, the infamous Oakley Court Hotel. Sure, the Dunsmuir House had appeared in a couple of classic horror films, but it's got nothing to the Oakley Court Hotel in Berkshire, England. This stately abode played the role of the big, dark manor in countless horror flicks, including The Reptile, Curse of Frankenstein, Nightmare, Die Monster Die, and now The Screaming Starts, and perhaps most famously as the home of Dr. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you are listening to EMZT Radio.
Someone's in my fridge cellar. Someone with a fresh soul.
Some say I'm delusional, but I disagree. When it comes to saging wisdom, I am half great well. Says you! Every now and then I pull out my chessboard, and it never fails. I outsmart myself. I cannot conform, even if I try. I have been this insane ever since the night I died. Drink all night, sing all day, undead gypsies here to stay. Oh, we will never fall in line.
Nor care I for fancy jewels. All that wealth is useless if it can't buy what you need. Freedom, happiness, and love, this is what I'm thinking of. And every now and then a throat on which to feed.
Blah, blah. I cannot conform, even if I try. I have been this insane ever since the night I died. Drink all night, sing all day, undead gypsies here to stay. Whoa, we will never fall in line. Whether male or female slut, in a palace or mud hut, you can be a fool as easily as can be wise. Whether you are Irish bruiser or just plain old drunken loser, freedom can be yours when your dreams are realized. Night that I was born, tonight my life was taken. Everybody said, Goku, you are one of a kind. Since I cut my own self loose from my twisted, stretchy noose, I'm doing well considering I've lost my mind. I could not conform, even if I tried. I have been this insane ever since the night I died. Drink all night, sing all day, undead gypsies here to stay. Oh, we will never fall in line. Whether male or female slut, in a palace or mud hut, you can be a fool as easily as can be wise. Whether you are Irish bruiser or just plain old drunken loser, freedom can be yours when your dreams are realized. After every single show, I will read the band's tarot, just for making sure that we have not lost our way. Magic, magic, crystal ball, who's most insane of them all? That would be you! I heard my own voice say, I could not conform, even if I tried. I have been this insane ever since the night I died. Drink all night, sing all day, undead gypsies here to stay. Whoa, we will never fall in line. Oh, we cannot conform, even if we try. We have been this insane ever since the night we died. Drink all night, sing all day, undead gypsies here to stay. Whoa.
the show that puts the story back into history.
History is all about discovering the why, and I think that in that process it's important to never take the story out of history.
Making history come alive, one episode at a time.
But this is a podcast on the American Revolution for this series, and all about a free country, so do whatever the hell you want.
Visit theMondayAmerican.com to get more. Dive into the Monday American. Don't worry, we'll be gentle.
From 1428elm.com, Fangoria subscriptions for iconic horror magazine now open. Shuttering their doors after years of changing the horror landscape, Fangoria is coming back. Subscriptions are open for creep consumption. Like any classic horror villain, you can't keep Fangoria dead for long. After halting production on their popular horror magazine 3 years ago, Fangoria is making a comeback. Readying a physical-only return to publication, subscriptions are now available to fans everywhere. Promising issues in October, January, April, and July each will contain 100 pages of bloody brilliance, including its 40th anniversary issue, which Fango is promising to make special. For only $60 a year, you'll get over 400 pages of epicness spanning 4 issues, leaving the news for online outlets. The magazine promises set visits, deep retrospectives, and an access to the minds behind today's horror scene. Subscribing straight from the source will net you a savings of $19.79 off the cover price, which of course is the year Fangoria began bringing horror home for fans everywhere. For those who subscribe before Dallas-based Cinestate bought the publication but didn't receive issues, you're in luck. The new regime is offering a no-questions-asked year of the magazine for free. Well, it's not really free, but a few years late. They're working on the honor system, so no proof is necessary. But don't be dishonest. That would be far from cool. If you're looking forward to the return of horror's premier magazine, head to Fangoria.com for all the demented details. And until October, try not to keep the lights on all night. And you are listening to EMZT Radio.
It is through the recitation of the book's passages that this dark spirit is given license to possess the living.
Nuka-Cola, zap that thirst.
Wishing away
And we're back here with Martin Stocks with Black Lake, a short animated thriller. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And this is not your first rodeo, as they say.
No, so I've done 3 short films before, and the last one, Toll Booth, thankfully did quite well on the festival circuit, so it's won 6 awards so far, and it's screened in DC, Leeds, several festivals around London, around the UK.
Awesome.
So yes, this is for follow-up, really.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit about the project, because I know you got it on Indiegogo at the moment. I think when it comes out, you're going to have about a month left when the podcast comes out, so tell everybody about it.
Yeah, that's right. So Black Lake is a short animated thriller which explores themes like guilt, redemption, life, death, that sort of thing. And it starts with a character who's drink driving, and then he causes a fatal car crash. So he dies on the roadside, and then it cuts to him waking up miraculously, free of all forms of injuries. And he's in this alternate world, which is this foggy, misty, beautiful, yet ultimately hostile world. So it's about him initially being quite spellbound by this world and exploring it and trying to work out what's happening. And then it quickly takes a darker turn where he realizes that there's a lot of malevolence within this world, and it turns into a bit of an escape film with him trying to get out.
Now, was there any type of inspiration for a movie like this? Anything personal that had happened, or just really
not particularly, no.
Writing?
Creative writing, yes. I wanted to do just as dark a thriller as possible, because lots of my previous work's been comedy, or it's been horror with some comedy. But yeah, I wanted just to do something absolutely jet black, so I thought, what's the darkest thing that could possibly happen? And yeah, it arrived at this concept, really, with this man just thrown into this awful experience in this nightmare world, and yeah, really fighting the elements and having nature turn on him, really. So no, it wasn't really inspired by anything other than lots of horror influences and thrillers that I really like. And yeah, I just wanted to make a really compelling, beautiful animated film.
Absolutely. Now, is any of it done, or have you guys, or is that one of the main reasons for the crowdfunding?
Yeah, that's right. So we've done concept art. We've got a very talented artist called Gabriella Swan. So she's done 5 or 6 pieces of concept art, which shows what we're looking to do visually. But no, we've not started animating yet, hence the Indiegogo. Yeah. So yeah, we're trying to raise as much money as possible, because obviously it doesn't come cheap and it takes quite a while.
7,500 quid, it looks like you're trying
to
raise here. Is that, I guess for those who may be new to the animation or don't actually understand the animation, how big of a budget is that for an animated movie? Or do you know right offhand?
So that's really small, in all honesty. Yeah, because lots of animated films can take a year to be made, even short films.
Yeah.
But we're trying to do this as quickly as possible. But yeah, that's quite a shoestring budget. Yeah. Which sounds quite a lot of money for some short indie filmmakers, but no, it's not much for animation.
And I noticed that at your 1,000 quid mark here, you have the appear in a film as an animated character. That sounds really cool. How many of these are you going to give out, or just as many as they come?
It depends how much interest we got. As many as they come within reason. Like obviously we can't have 1,000 characters in the film, but
right.
But yeah, no. So we're looking to potentially up to 5. So we've got lots of background characters that are half dead characters. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, we'd love some backers to put in £1,000, which is a big donation, but it's quite a unique perk, isn't it? To actually be animated based on yourself in a film.
Yeah, there's been, I think, out of all the interviews we've done and all the movies we've helped promote, I think this is probably the 3rd time in, God, now, what is this, 3 years we've done this, almost 4, that anybody has even offered a perk like that to where you can actually be in the film. So that to me is really cool. I think that's one of the coolest perks, Obviously, a lot of things got to be within reason, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking for somebody who's just a big horror fan who's perhaps got a few quid in their pocket, which would be nice. But yeah, someone who's like a mad genre fan who just wants to be immortalised forever. So yeah, if you know anyone, or if any of your listeners know, please get in touch.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about your background. You already mentioned Toll Booth a little bit, but tell us a little bit about you and how you've enjoyed and how you've grown through this experience.
Yeah, sure. So I started off screenwriting first and foremost. So I studied screenwriting at uni, and then I did a master's. And then I graduated in the midst of a recession, so there was absolutely no jobs generally, but particularly not in film or as screenwriters. So I kind of had a bit of a unique journey where I moved into various jobs, like sales jobs, account management type roles, and yeah, quickly got very bored, quickly got dismissed from quite a few different jobs for generally being too bored and not really passionate about doing it. And then I started writing a comedic blog about how much I'd struggled to put up with like 9-to-5 day jobs. So it's called How to Manage Your Manager in a Job You Hate, and it was all about how to survive that crushing corporate experience. And ironically, that led to paid writing work for a corporate production company, and that led to me like meeting enough collaborators to actually start working on my own stuff. So I co-directed a short dark comedy called The X with my friend Gareth Brown. And that did pretty well. That got into a few festivals. And then, yeah, I've just been trying to scale it up each time, really. So Toll Booth was a bit more ambitious. And then, again, Black Lake, it's even more ambitious still. So, yeah, just really trying to learn as much as I can, really, and connect with other people.
Absolutely. And now this is this your first foray into animation?
Yeah, well, I did one 2D animation, which was really short, only 60 seconds. It was a web series pilot, so that was based off the Hate Manager blog. But yeah, I say, that was 2D, and it's very different to this style, so we're going for that 3D CGI. So yeah.
Any chance you're going to bring back if this becomes a success? Any chance the Hate Manager cartoon idea comes back on the table?
Yeah, potentially. Why not? I mean, I think it's a nice concept, and people seem to like it. You know, it's very relatable.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, if I could find someone willing to put in the budget, then yeah, no, I'd love to bring it back and explore it a bit more. It was good fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that, especially in radio.
Oh yeah,
show people the real dark side of radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine.
But well, tell us a little bit about your horror history, and so to speak. Like, what got you interested in horror? Was there any good movies or anything of that nature back when you were a kid?
Yes, I think the first thing that I can remember really staying with me as a kid was Silence of the Lambs, which is it a horror? Is it a thriller? I think it's somewhere in between, which is a bit similar to Black Lake and Toll Booth. It's kind of a horror thriller with a few other elements chucked into it. But yeah, I think that was a big one. I just remember being blown away by that, like the chemistry between the two actors, just how you just can't take a breath, you can't turn it off.
Right. I mean, and that's a hell of a one to grow up on. I keep forgetting now. It's like I'm getting near 40, and I'm just sitting there going, where the hell is all the movies from? It's like, Matt, you're interviewing people that's like 10 years younger than you now. So,
yeah.
It's like
Different
Nightmare on Elm
references,
Street's
yeah.
not gonna pop up everywhere now.
No. Scream 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah. Oh goodness. Well, tell us a little bit about who's all involved. Can you talk about the cast? Are you guys doing this internally, where you're just not getting anybody else? You're just going to voice all the characters, if there is voice work in this?
No, so we've got two extremely talented voice actors who we're about to announce shortly. So I'm going to hold off for now. But we are making an announcement in the next week or so. So two really good actors who have both won awards, and I've worked with one of the actors before, and my producer James Wren, he's worked with the other actor on a couple of his things. But yeah, no, we're really excited because they're both quite charismatic people. They've both got quite unique voices, and yeah, I think they're both going to bring a lot to this, really. But my producer James Wren, he's done several feature films. He's recently done The Manionaut, which premiered at East End Film Festival, and he runs his own film festival in London on Restricted View. And he also did a short horror called The Monster a couple of years ago, which did really well.
So I also noticed with Toll Booth, you're actually eligible now for BAFTAs?
Yeah, we were. We didn't win it. But yeah, we were eligible, so we entered the BAFTAs, which was great. And that was quite unexpected. So yeah, so it's getting into Leeds Film Festival, which is like a BAFTA and Oscar qualifying festival.
Oh, God.
So yeah, so that meant we're eligible for the BAFTAs, yeah, which was really nice to enter and to be considered.
Absolutely. Now, how much of your money, I guess, as the crew, how much of you guys have invested in this or found maybe outside investment beside the Indiegogo? Have y'all put into this?
It's about something we're pursuing. Yeah, we're pursuing that now. So one of our perks is the promotional film for £2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're promoting that through the Indiegogo, and we're also approaching private businesses that perhaps we've worked with in the past and where we know people. So even if that takes place slightly after the Indiegogo, that's something we're pursuing, really.
Right. So it's
we've got a fantastic production team. So yeah, we're really trying to push that to sell. If we can sell 3 or 4 of those, then yeah, we've got like $8,000.
Yeah, but as for like personal investment, have you guys, I guess, obviously are kind of personally got some money into this, correct?
Not yet, but yeah, okay. I'm sure that will happen at some point. Like I've fully funded Toll Booth myself, and yeah, I'm still paying off the credit card debts and that sort of stuff. But no, I'm sure I will be putting some money into this at some stage. Yeah, definitely.
I guess just tell everybody where you can find this, and just promote, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So it's up on Indiegogo. We're live for about another month. So if you search for Black Lake Film, you'll find it. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So again, Black Lake Film. You'll find us, or you can look me up on Twitter, and my handle is Martin T. Stocks. And yeah, please get in touch on my website, which is martintstocks.com. And yeah, we'd love to hear more from you. We'd love people to share it. Love people, if they can, to make any small donations or larger donations. But yeah, just please do get in touch, follow the campaign, and we'll be making exciting announcements very soon.
All right. Awesome. Martin, we appreciate it. As we always, the links are in the description of the podcast, so definitely share it around, everybody, if you can. Martin, come on back whenever you guys get a little bit further along in the project and give us an update on what's going on.
Yeah, we'd love to. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Martin. That's Martin Stocks there with Black Lake short animated thriller. There, you can find that on Indiegogo, and of course, all the links are in the description.
Nice to meet ya. It's me. Yep, in the horns, baby. Come on, say my name. Dare ya? Double, no, triple dog dare ya. I'm a good judge of character, usually, but gotta admit, wouldn't have pegged you for a pussy. Your kind scares too easily. Guess you don't want these front row seats, talking real VIP shit, to the end of the world, huh? Gonna be the greatest show in the universe. Buckeye, Texas. Ground zero for the biggest, baddest, most epic takedown in human history. You thought the flood was bad? Please. That's rookie shit. You ain't seen nothing. Weapon of choice? Geminis. Cross a werepanther with a gargoyle and throw in some Lovecraftian spice for good measure. Pure cosmic flying badassness. One pissed off pussy and his vixen mate. And who are they pissed off at and ready to enslave and slaughter? Ha, you good old folks, that's who. Not to mention the 12 zodiac tribes. But you ain't interested, are ya? 'Cause you're a pussy, huh? You and the Geminis have something in common. If you ever grow a set, check out the audio drama Paladin Cycle. on fictionforadults.com.
And welcome to the first episode of Horror Trash. That's we're gonna take one segment out of EMZT. Now it might just be me one week, it might just be Bane one week, it might be both of us one week, but we're gonna take a segment out of EMZT, and we are going to find the crappiest, shittiest, just god-awful horror movies of all time and take a few minutes to laugh. And that's what we're doing right now, because we're taking arguably one of the worst horror movies of all time, and we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
It's called Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Somebody actually made a movie called that.
Attack of the Killer Donuts. So basically the plot line of this movie, if you can consider it a plot line, is a chemical accident turns ordinary donuts into bloodthirsty killers. And now it's up to Johnny, Michelle, and Howard to save their sleepy town from, you guessed it, killer donuts.
Oh my god.
You have not heard of anybody in this movie. I'm just going to come out and tell you right. IMDb, by the way, is 3.5 stars on IMDb out of 10. It is very horrible, low-budget B-movie, to say the least. Yeah, there's really nobody I've ever heard of. So, apparently, Uncle Luther makes this serum, and they kind of have him rip off the Reanimator a little bit. Because he has the lab coat, and it's a serum, and he's trying to reanimate things, and you know.
Or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh my god, wait a minute. I take that back. There is somebody you have heard of in this movie.
C. Thomas Howell!
C. Thomas Howell is in this movie!
Oh my god, he must have been desperate for a couple of bucks.
Oh my god, we are talking now, what's his name from Police Academy? Remember when oh god, what is his name from Police Academy? Mahoney.
Oh, Gutenberg, right?
Yeah, Steve Gutenberg. Remember when he went through that, like, mid-90s Showtime 3 a.m. movie phase?
Oh, yeah.
This has got to be C. Thomas, because that's where C. Thomas Howell kind of got to start, though.
Oh, my god.
Those 3 a.m. Showtime movies.
Oh, my god.
It's like his career has come full circle now.
Oh, my god.
He is in, like, total shit. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit.
He's gone downhill too.
So, anyways, Uncle Luther makes this serum, and he gets into a fight or something at the donut shop. You can't make this up. This is so stupid. The serum just gets flung out of his pocket and into some dough. So they go out, they make the donuts. A whole bunch of other things happen, like Johnny and Michelle get fired. Michelle gets fired for trying to fight a bunch of guys trying to grab her boobs. And then Johnny quits on principle. The donut shop owner is always trying to jerk off.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it was a reoccurring gag until he got killed. Was you would see him go back into his office to turn his computer on, and they weren't even trying to hide what he was doing. And even the second time, when he went back in there, the second fucking time, they even got him grabbing tissues.
Oh, man.
Yeah. really pisses me off. I will say this though. The Attack of the Killer Donuts does have one of the coolest death scenes ever.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, okay. Our hero, Johnny, has this girlfriend. You know, it was the old, she's way too hot for you, so yes, obviously she's cheating. You know, dating the bimbo type.
Yeah.
And, okay, so they're going down the road, and yes, she's obviously cheating on him with this Kid Rock wannabe. I mean, this guy was like Kid Rock's methed out, inbred cousin.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyways, so they're in the car getting hot and heavy and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the confrontation has already happened between Johnny and his girlfriend. They broke up, blah, 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 blah. So the donuts find their way to the car. And one of the long donuts, they you know, the guy opens the door stupidly. And the donuts start attacking. The donuts, by the way, how they attack, they fling themselves at people. And they have like these really sharp teeth. Honestly, I have had I used to do acid back in the day, and I never had hallucinations like this.
Donuts with fangs on them. Ew.
Donuts with fangs and sharp teeth. And
it's gross.
What makes... So anyways, back to the cool-ass kill scene. The cool kill scene was... Kid Rock's messed out cousin takes one of the long donuts in the head. It bores right through his fucking head and goes flying.
Oh my god.
That is the only good part of this movie. That's all I'm going to say. That's the only good part of this movie. 80% of the dialogue in this movie are cliches from other popular movies.
Yeah.
It was so... I mean, this thing was so bad. And people are like, you know, this is good for a few chuckles. Yeah, it's good for a few chuckles, but after about 10 minutes of laughing at really stupid shit, I finally just started going, what the fuck am I watching? And that was me for the next 80 minutes. Was, what the fuck is this Wait a minute, what the fuck? Am I high? Am I high?
Did you sniff some glue?
I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. 20 minutes later, I picked the wrong week to stop taking amphetamines. 10 minutes later, I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Yeah. Needless to say,
the latest example of Sharknado-style horror comedy subgenre, best called trash for trash sake.
Oh, can we not insult Sharknado like that?
Sharknado was better than this one.
At least Sharknado had good acting.
Yeah.
Okay, at least Sharknado had a plot.
More or less.
More or less.
Obviously more than just these killer donuts going out and killing people. I think it was more for the gross factor, because it was saying something about spewing sickly green jelly.
Yeah, now there was one scene where one of the baddies, not the donut, but one of the bad humans, ate one of the donuts.
Mm-hmm.
And got sick, and I thought he was going to turn into a zombie, but then he started puking green shit all over the place and died.
Okay. You die eating a killer donut. Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Or you die with them eating you.
Yeah.
It's eat or be eaten, apparently, and you die both ways.
You're fucked. You're just basically fucked.
My God.
Okay.
I just no.
Did it show any, like, did it show that there could be a sequel to this? Like, did they leave it opening for a sequel?
Unfortunately, yes, they did.
Oh, God. I'm going to say I hope fucking not, because why?
At the end of the movie, somebody's cutting grass and there's still a donut alive. The silence just became deafening. I mean, really deafening here. Hello? Yeah. I can tell by your silence that yeah, I could hear it off of your silence there. That it was not good. Not good. Yeah.
There's no words. There's just no words. No words.
So Attack of the Killer Donuts. Just remember, folks, here at Horror Crap, or Horror Trash, I should say, we watch these movies so you don't have to.
We hope you don't.
Now, however, if you're really high, I still wouldn't recommend this movie. Anyways, back with Martin Stocks right after this.
She wears the mask of a person she don't really know. She's got her dreams for life, but it just goes too slow. She wants to hide away where no one else can see. She daydreams of a place where she would like to be. Catch you when you're falling. Can I climb that wall? Will you see me when you need me? Am I there at all? She sends them off to school and kiss them at the door. She stares into the room. There must be something more. She cooks and cleans, prepares their meals just their way. But no one understands the way she feels today. Can I catch you when you're falling? Can I climb that wall? Will you see me when you need me? Am I there at all?
This is EMZT Radio. Come and let your ears bleed.
From the-line-up.com, 5 creepy facts that you didn't know about the Ouija board. Ouija boards have a long and storied history of causing havoc by summoning evil spirits. But how did they become the powerhouse they are in paranormal and spiritual circles? That can all be traced back to one man, Elijah Bond. Planchette or spirit boards have been in vogue for years before Bond had the brilliant idea of patenting the design. But the popularity of spirit boards had been primarily limited to spiritualist circles during the Victorian era. Once Bond patented his design, which included the alphabet and yes and no, in 1890, the trend took off. It would not officially become the Ouija board for 11 more years until Bond's employee, William Fuld, took over production. Fuld claimed to have invented the board himself and invented the supposed etymology of the name Ouija, alternately an Egyptian word for good luck, which the board itself told the Bonds, or from the combination of the French and German for yes. Since then, the Ouija board has gone on to traumatize many teenagers at sleepovers with its eerie ability to tell the truth and conjure spirits. But the Ouija board's creepy factor goes far beyond its slumber party potential. Number 1. Bond secured his patent with the help of his Ouija board. According to the Ouija legend, Bond's invention named itself. In addition, it also helped Bond secure the patent he needed to make his fortune on the planchette board. When Bond and his sister-in-law, Helen Peters, went to apply for their patent, the officer in charge of dispersing patents was, at best, skeptical. So the officer asked them to prove that the board really worked by asking it his name. Bond and Peters, with the help of their Ouija board, were able to discover the officer's name, and he granted them a patent for the board. Number 2. A jury used the Ouija board to determine a defendant's guilt. In 1993, Harry and Nicola Fuller were murdered not long after their marriage. An insurance broker, Stephen Young, was accused of their murder. At his first trial, Young was convicted, but it soon came out that the jury had used a Ouija board to discover whether or not the man was guilty. Of course, Ouija board answers are not generally accepted in the court of law. Young was granted a retrial. He was convicted once again during the second trial and sentenced to life in prison. 3. Multiple people have blamed Ouija boards for their murderous actions. When you ask someone why they've done something bad, you may not expect them to say that a Ouija board told them to do it. But that's just what happened in the murder of Brian Roach. Roach, a former mayor of Minco, Oklahoma, was slaughtered by his mother-in-law in 2001. The mother-in-law, Roach's wife, and his 2 daughters had been playing with a Ouija board together when the mother-in-law attacked Roach. She also tried to kill Roach's younger daughter, who she believed was also being possessed. Elsewhere in the UK, one family blamed a multitude of sins on their Ouija board. First, Paul Carroll drowned and dismembered the family's dog. Then his wife and daughter took a number of prescription pills after a Ouija board session. After taking the pills, they attempted to set fire to their home. 4. Alcoholics Anonymous wouldn't exist without the Ouija board. In the 1930s, a man named Bill Wilson was struggling with his alcohol addiction. Told by a doctor he had a wet brain and would therefore struggle with alcohol for the rest of his life or be killed by it, Bill had nearly given up. Then on December 11th, 1934, Bill had a spiritual breakthrough and never drank again. Wilson had always been interested in the spiritual world and spiritualism, so he and his wife Lois went to their Ouija board to find his next step. Wilson credited the Ouija board with telling him to reach out to other alcoholics and create his Alcoholics Anonymous group. In a letter to his advisor and priest, Father Dowling, Wilson said that the spirit of a 15th century monk named Boniface had helped him come up with the proposed structure of AA. 5. Artists turn to the Ouija board for inspiration. Many writers over the years have turned to the Ouija board for assistance in creating new stories. Whether they've approached the Ouija skeptically or with serious belief, great works of art have resulted. The most famous is Bedlam in Goliath, an album by the Mars Volta. The band members bought a Ouija board while traveling in Jerusalem. In their first session with the board, the band was told a story that they decided to use as the centerpiece for the next album. Over the next few weeks, as they recorded the album, a number of terrifying things happened. The studio flooded, causing immense damage, including equipment malfunctions. An engineer had a nervous breakdown. The drummer quit, and a band member's foot was seriously injured. Eventually, the band decided to bury the Ouija board rather than risk further injury. Once the board was buried, the Mars Volta were left undisturbed. And you are listening to EMZT Radio.
Even now we have your darling Linda soul. She suffers in torment.
Chronicity, a state of prolonged duration, recurrent, habitual, chronic.
A new mini-series on chronic pain and illness by your friends Matt and Phil from Semi-Intellectual Musings.
We go beyond medical diagnosis to explore the often forgotten political, social, and personal sides.
You'll hear stories from extraordinary people overcoming extraordinary challenges.
Authors, entrepreneurs, volunteers, coaches, and caregivers.
They are so much more than their diagnoses, yet each have found ways to persevere.
You'll also hear some familiar voices from the indie podcast community,
showing that art, creativity, and passion are possible while living in chronicity.
These stories and more, starting April 1st at thesim.podbean.com.
They say all too young, yet you're over the hill. So you reach for your bag and your lazy yellow pill. Your stomach may be empty, but your mind it is full. And your life may be short, but never is it dull. Climb inside a little plastic bag. It gives you life like you never had. From little drinks straight up your nose. Yeah, life is so rosy when you're stoned. They say you're going nowhere, yeah, there's nowhere to go. And then they tell you things that you already know. Like everything you take is so bad for you. But you're gonna die eventually, whatever you do. Because life inside a little plastic bag, it gives you life like you never had. With a little drink straight up your nose. Yeah, life is so rosy when you're stoned.
EMZT Radio is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/EMZT. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For you, the listeners of EMZT Radio Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. That's audibletrial.com/EMZT. From 1428elm.com, Ash vs. Evil Dead, The End of an Era and the King of Jacksonville. Sunday night was the series finale of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Hard to believe, but the almost 40-year-old saga of Ash Williams is over, and it feels weird. Spoiler alert, there will be brief spoilers. Our stalwart hero, Ash Williams, has a breakdown and lapse in confidence. Brandy snaps him out of it, and he regains the courage necessary to face down the baddest mofo demon of all time, Kandar. Pablo saves Kelly by going into the rift. They have the moment we've all waited for, beautiful, spectacular kiss that leaves Brandy and Ash giving each other high fives. The time comes to test the mettle of man, and guess what? Ash doesn't run. He sends Brandy and the Ghost Beaters off to safety while he takes on Kandar in a tank. Evil is conquered, but our savior has fallen. Rescued by renegade knights of Sumeria, he ends up in cryostasis and wakes up in a future of hot androids. The classic is preserved and tricked out in a Mad Max-style tank car. In the end, Ash sallies forth into the dystopian unknown to face the Dark Ones and find his family to the strains of Space Truckin' by Deep Purple. Thus the Evil Dead saga ends. A perfect bookend to the original Army of Darkness ending that both Sam Raimi and Campbell preferred, then coming around full circle to the start of Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1, Episode 1, El Jefe, when Ash was tooling around in the Delta to the same 70s tune. Like the ending of Ash vs. Evil Dead, maybe these characters that we've grown to love are lying dormant, waiting to be reawakened at a future date. Perhaps there will be another rift that opens and Pablo will have to spring into action yet again, straddle both the Deadlands and the current world. If the Dark Ones are on the move, Kelly may have to rally the troops like Leia Organa in Star Wars. She is the general now. Who better to protect the future of mankind than her? After all, she was the Ghost Beater who always had a plan. Then there's Brandy, the living scion of the prophesied one. She is Kelly's right-hand woman. Although they are not blood, they are sisters forged in bloodshed. Sometimes that is a deeper bond. Since Ash vanquished Kandar, maybe somehow Dalton is living again as well. Pablo's Brujo Especial powers could have rescued him. It could be plausible that he is one of the members of the cyborg army of the Knights of Sumeria. Certainly, news of the show's cancellation came as a big disappointment for fans of the series. Campbell had previously said he had 5 good seasons in him, and that seemed like a great goal to aim for. In the end, we're getting a solid 3 seasons, which isn't the 5 or more we were all hoping for, but it's still way more than we could have asked for. For many, many years, horror fans have been calling for another Evil Dead film from Campbell and director Sam Raimi. When the Evil Dead reboot hit theaters in 2013, it seemed less likely that we'd ever see Ash again. But Raimi and brother Ted were still formulating plans to do an Evil Dead 4, going so far as to write 2 different screenplays for it. Ultimately, the Raimi brothers combined their ideas into one TV series which gave them the concept for Ash vs. Evil Dead. With the Raimis on board and Campbell willing to reprise the role, all that was needed to bring back Ash was a network who believed in the show. By November 2014, it was announced that Starz had ordered Ash vs. Evil Dead for a premiere in October of the following year. Campbell said that Starz was the only network offering the creative freedom to be unrated and unrestricted, an absolute requirement for this series, which would have suffered greatly from being watered down. In the end, there just wasn't enough people watching the show for Starz to order a 4th season. But that's not a testament to its quality, as evidenced from its high scores at Rotten Tomatoes. You could say that the 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead aren't unlike the original Evil Dead film trilogy. Amazing films beloved by horror fans and cult classics for years to come, but still not big money makers at the box office at the time. For years, a fourth Evil Dead movie seemed impossible. Then it looked like we were going to get a new sequel, giving us another hour and a half with Ash. What we ultimately wound up getting was 15 hours of new content, which is something we should all be happy about. Ash vs. Evil Dead ending after 3 seasons is certainly bittersweet, but having the series at all in its pure, unfiltered form is still a big win for us fans. And Bruce Campbell left a really gracious tweet for the end of the series. Quote, Ash vs. Evil Dead had been the ride of a lifetime. Ash Williams was the role of a lifetime. I will always be grateful to stars, Sam Raimi, Robert Tappert, and our tireless fans for the opportunity to revisit the franchise that launched our careers. Thank you. Ash has left the building. End quote. It doesn't have that sense of permanence that Goodbye has. This isn't final. There will always be the legacy of Evil Dead. It's not like these things will disappear in time. They are preserved, just like the characters in Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you want to check in with their world, you can find them on DVDs, Blu-rays, apps, and different viewing platforms whenever you desire. There are also so many memories to take away. This type of show is not likely to be seen again until the next revival comes around. Everything in Hollywood is cyclical. You just have to look at your local theater complex and your TV guide to see the types of movies and television programs that are making review. But it was a fun ride when we had it. So be thankful that we had it. It was a really good series. That was really good. And I'm sure Netflix will be showing season 3 soon. So we're still all good. And Bruce now has his new game show for fans, Last Fan Standing, which travels around the country. Be sure to sign up if you're a fan of sci-fi, horror, and comic books. Look up lfslive.com and sign up for it. Give it a shot. You could win some prizes and get to spend time with Bruce. What could be better than that? So you are listening to EMZT Radio.
Hail to the king, baby.
Pieces of
Hello, horror fans. My name's Douglas McCambridge, and along with my co-host Jamie Lorello, we run a podcast called Good Times, Great Movies, where we review movies from the craziest decade, the 1980s. In October, we do horror movies and horror movies alone, so we're reaching out to you, the listener/horror fan, to recommend movies you want to hear us talk about. Tweet to us at GTGMcast, find us on Facebook, listen to the podcast, Good Times, Great Movies. Let us know what horror movies from that decade you want us to talk about. If we choose yours, you win a prize. It'll be something awesome. Blu-rays. That's what I'm going to say. All right, hope to hear from you.
And that wraps up another episode of EMZT Radio. Thank you to Martin Stocks for talking to MJ, because I couldn't make it.
That's fine. You know.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it. Anyways, it's a cool film. Check it out. Links in the description. The Indiegogo is definitely in the description. Give to this film because we definitely want it to succeed.
Yes.
Other than that, any final thoughts, wishes? Wanting to kill somebody after that horror trash segment.
So I guess by the time we get this podcast out, it's going to be Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. It might be a little bit before Cinco de Mayo because I forgot Cinco de Mayo is Saturday.
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it'll be out a few days before Cinco de Mayo. So again,
it'll be in time.
We throw out the one thing we always do every year when it comes to the drinking holidays. Please do not drink and drive. Okay.
Yeah.
Your object is to watch horror, not cause horror.
Right. So. Hey, that's a good line.
Yeah, I like
it.
I got one for you before we go. J.J. Abrams premiered some footage this week for his new horror movie called Overlord.
Ooh.
I am so ready for this.
Ooh.
In fact, Abrams clarified the film is Bad Robot's first R-rated flick, and it's batshit. Yes, we are making horror R-rated again.
Nice. Like it should be.
That's huge. Our buddies over at Jabal... Oh, sorry. The footage featured Wyatt Russell, Brokeem Woodbine, and a cast of relative unknowns in a traditional World War II paratrooper gear, jumping in as planes blow up around them before finally getting to the ground, linking up and heading out. We see them discover the heavily guarded facility, infiltrate it, and when everything gets a little crazy. So they see a bunch of bloody zombie-like creatures. People have been experimented on, vials of a red substance, which is injected into the soldiers, and they become super soldiers. A bunch of shootings, explosions, and yelling. This is horror as fuck.
Nice.
And we will be seeing that because J.J. Abrams did it. I'm already there. Overlord. Oh, by the way, a True Cloverfield sequel is in the works. Overlord is coming out in theaters October the 26th, just in time for Halloween. That's going to be our Halloween movie, I guess. So a Cloverfield sequel is happening as well. So there we go. By the way, will we also get Tremors? I wonder though, with the getting back to what we talked about at the beginning, the sequel or the television series of Tremors.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they take the pilot. And that could be the beginning of Tremors 7.
Wow, that's a concept.
Because you remember there was all this talk when Sci-Fi was saying, hey, we're looking at Tremors becoming a television show and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
There was also talk that Tremors 7 might happen. So... Because you know Tremors 6 comes out on Blu-ray. It's already out on Blu-ray by the time we
it should be out.
Release the podcast. It comes out. It actually came out Tuesday.
Yep. Right.
Guess where I'll be in line getting Tremors A Cold Day in Hell. Like I said, it's not my go-to horror, but I love it. Yeah, it's like on that second. It's like on that second tier.
Yeah. I mean, I could pop in first Tremors movie just to get because it's just it's It's just weird. It's weird.
So apparently, Dakota Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Just one more thing before we go. Dakota Johnson is starring in the remake of Suspiria.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Dakota Johnson, by the way, is you-know-who from 50 Shades of Grey. But, apparently... she got a little fucked up. Mentally. Because of that.
Not that I blame her.
Speaking to Elle magazine, she said, "No lie." This is talking about the film. "No lie, fucked me up so much I had to go into therapy."
I think it's expected. You should go into therapy after something like that.
After Dario film, yes, we should have been in therapy after watching Dario films.
Yeah,
just because they're so fucked up. But I mean, it's like, okay, there's not much. And I got into this discussion. There's really not much of a plot. I'm like, you're not watching that film for the plot, because the plot's pretty basic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would agree with me on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
But it's the acting, it's the atmosphere, the cinematography, the music that fucks you up with that movie.
Yes. It makes you creepy. It makes you feel creepy. It makes you feel weird, and you're just like sitting there going, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Right.
Wow.
According to Elle magazine, this was an interview Dakota Johnson did with Elle magazine. She said, "We were in an abandoned hotel on top of a mountain. It had 30 telephone poles on the roof, so there was electricity pulsating through the building, and everyone was shocking each other. It was cold as shit and so dry. The only thing that helped was dousing myself with oil every night. Now I can't get enough."
Oil?
Yeah. So Dakota Johnson apparently covers herself in oil every night. Good night, everybody! Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a good ending right there, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't top that.
Yeah.
Can't top
So, look for our projects. They're coming out on YouTube soon. They're coming out all over the place. Writing and stuff like that. Don't forget Patreon. Our other fun stuff we have: Twitter, Facebook, Maker Support. You can find them all in the links in the description.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out our friends of the Potter family, because they're freaking cool. And every Sunday, our Potter family Potter Block is going on as well on EMZT Radio. Don't forget to check out the radio station, because we keep forgetting to talk about the radio station. And new t-shirts are coming soon. We are now in the final stages of the development of the new t-shirts. You can check those out at Teespring soon.
Oh, I was wondering if we were still sticking with Teespring. Yeah.
Yeah, we're sticking with Teespring for now.
Okay.
So yeah, go over to Teespring, grab some shirts and crap like that, because we're tired of starving to death.
Yeah, it would help us out.
It would help us out. Like, we're trying to become professional podcasters.
Yes.
So,
yes,
we need help.
We need
okay.
help.
Any last thoughts, questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, then in that case, we're out of here.
Stay tuned for another episode of EMZT Radio.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Red rum, red rum.